We're going to learn how to use calculators and get slope and equations and correlation coefficients from data. Each of these sections on this packet has instructions at the top and then 2 examples, and then the instructions at the top and then 2 examples. These instructions are self-explanatory, so I do not need to explain this, but I am nonetheless. Let's start at step 1 on the first one. Enter the data into a list. So we see number 1 is right here. We're going to enter this data into a list. It says from the home screen. So this is the home screen. If you're not there, hit the home button. Go to the bottom middle tile that looks like a table. So you scroll down to this bottom row and we go over to the middle tile that looks like a table, and then we select it. Now I have a table pulled up. Step 1 also says then enter the data vertically in the by variable. Name the columns at the top. So we look at our table and number 1, it has an X at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to the top of this column, put an X, enter. I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to put a Y. I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to go ahead, and now that I've set the table up with my X at the top and my Y at the top, now I'm going to type the data in very easily. So on the table, it's 10, enter, 20, enter, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. That was easy enough. Now I go to the right, I go back up to the top of this table, and I start entering my Y values, my outputs. 64, enter, 66, 90, 100, 92, 101, 111. So now we've typed in all the data from the table. It looks like the one on number 1. So I'm done with step 1. Now I go to step 2. Create a scatter plot by hitting Control, Document, 5. That was easy enough. Notice each step tells you exactly what to do. So now I'm done with step 2. Now I go to step 3. Add axis labels by clicking on both axes where it says click to add variable. So over on the left it says click to add variable, on the right. So at this point you use this trackpad by rubbing your finger on it until you get it like a mouse on a computer. So I can move this over to where it's on the left. I click it. Which of the 2 variables should I select? Y, because this is the Y axis. Then I move over to the bottom axis and I click in the middle to the Y axis. That should be X, obviously, and this one over here is Y. Alright, now I have the table set up exactly the way it needs to be, with my Y axis on the left, my X axis on the right, and we've got all the points plotted. So now that I'm done with step 3, now I'm doing step 4. Plot the line of best fit. So I hit Menu, 4. So we're clicking Menu, 4, which is Analyze, 6, which is Regression, and now we're clicking 1 for Show Linear, and it gives us the line right here. So if this question were asking for the slope, we would already have it. In fact, that's as far as you have to go on any of the other questions. So in this bottom section, it only goes to step 4 and you'd already have your answer. On the back of this page, it would be done at this point. So this first question is going longer than the other ones, but the other ones would be done. You're going to just follow the questions step by step. All right, so we're done with step 4, which is show linear. Now step 5, Control, Doc, 1. Then with Control Doc 1, the next step is Menu, 6, 1, 3. Notice you are simply following step by step. All right, we're done with that step. So now step 7, for the X list, which is written here, and the Y list, which is written here, select the columns that you gave to the name. So I click it. What did we name our X list? Well, we named it very appropriately X. So go down to what you named it. Then let's go down to the Y list. What did we name our Y list? Y. Now I hit enter, and it gives me a bunch of data, and this is the answer. If you look at your answer choices, they all say R equals. So look at our table. Where does it say R? Here's R. second to last one, and it tells us that R is 0.92. So which answer choice is correct? A. All right, before I set you on your own to do number 2, we're going to do one more example problem for those of you that are lost. So now let's go to number 3. Now, look at what the instructions are at the bottom of the box. After you're done with each problem, delete the old document. So we have a bunch of junk in our calculator. We need to delete it. So how do we delete it? We go to the home screen, home. So click the home button in the top right corner. 2, menu, C, OK. That's how we end up. Now that our calculators are cleared, we're going to look at step 1, enter the data. So we just did this. This step repeats, so you should be familiar with it. We're going to go down to this bottom line. We go to the middle section that looks like a table, and we start typing in our stuff. Now, the reason I want to show you this question is because it's slightly confusing to type the data in. This table is going sideways, going like this. But our table in the calculator is going vertically, up and down. The second thing that makes this table different is it says X represents the number of years since 2009. So I'm not going to put 2009 in my calculator. What is X? The number of years since that. So this would be 0. What about 2010? How many years is it from 2009? 1. The next one would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those were 2 things that made this one seem confusing at the beginning. Not a problem. So now let's go ahead and type in our titles. The title of the first one is year, Y-E-A-R. Y-E-A-R. If you prefer just leaving it as Y, that's no problem, or X rather, that's no problem. Now I'm going to go over and type in stores, S-T-O-R-E-S, stores. If you prefer leaving that as Y, that's no problem, but I'm just going to title it what the table has it. And now I'm typing in the table, and theirs goes sideways, but ours goes up and down. So I type 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Simple enough. Go to the right. Now we're going to type in all the numbers. So for 0, it was 9005. For year 1 was 8545. 9286. 10186. 11865. 11556. 12725. 13533. 13533. All right. So now the table is typed in just like they have it on the page, except ours is vertical. So I'm done with step 1. Now I'm moving into. So step 2 says create a scatter plot by hitting Control Dock 5. Control Dock 5. And this is very familiar to you because it's the same steps. The next step is step 3, add axis labels. So I use the trackpad in the middle. I come over to the side, and this is my Y, which is stores. And then I scroll over to the bottom, and I click, and this is my year, my time, my X. So now it plots it for us. I'm done with step 3. Now I'm on to step 4. Plot the line of best fit. Menu. 4, 6, 1. And it's at this point that we're done with the question. We don't have to go any further. There's only 4 steps. It wanted to know what the correct equation was. So looking at our equation that it gave us and looking at theirs, 727x plus 8292. So the answer was F. Those are 2 examples. Each of these questions is done just like the other ones in the section. You'll follow the steps and work along.